All right, here we go. So, welcome to week 10 seminar for our Leadership in Educational Technology and Instructional Design online class. And everybody in my section has been doing great. I just want to remind everybody to make sure you go back and check all of your posts because we give you a grade based on that you did your original post and then you did at least 2 responses. And that's typically where people in my section, they'll miss a response so that I don't give them a full grade. And we want to be able to give you a full grade. So go back and just double check that you've done all your posting that you should do. And then your assignments, just make sure you have everything in. And that will help us out a lot, especially since we're getting down to the end here. So, all right. So our quote for today is that the past cannot be changed. The future is yet in your power. And I like the power of that word yet. That is something, it's still coming and we still have the potential to meet up to whatever it is that we're going to do to change the world, right? That's what we want to do and help kids to do that. So this week for for week 10, your assignments are to read chapter 9 out of our book to make sure you've posted by Sunday your video reflection or your enhanced discussion post. And then on your assignment, you don't want it any longer than a 2-page double-spaced written assignment. You want to make sure that's in by Wednesday night. Okay, so again, this week it's chapter 9, what the future holds. And then the Future Ready framework, we finished that up. So now it's on to our last 3 assignments. And the assignment for this week is the memo to the superintendent. And we'll talk about that more in just a minute. But our discussion this week, after you read chapter 9, has several questions. And you only need to address one of the questions in your video response when you post this week. So just pick one. And I really liked these questions this week, and this chapter to me was fascinating and I really liked it. But one of the words that really jumped out to me, especially in these questions, was the word Imagineer. And I really like that, to think about kids being Imagineers, students being Imagineers, to address any social issues or anything that might come up in our society in the future. And it is hard to kind of think that there are things that these kids will be learning that we haven't even imagined yet. And so trying to think through what is it that we need to get them ready with so that they can do those things that are not yet imagined. So I wanted to invite any of the other instructors to jump in here with any thoughts that they might have on this particular discussion. So Clint or Jared or Brandon, if he happens to be there, go ahead and jump in right now if you have anything to add to the conversation right here.
Oh no, I echo your thoughts on the Imagineers, because I'm just thinking back, I've been doing my job, what I'm doing for 12 years, Jared for 14, 15, and I know both of us are not doing the same thing at all that we started when we started this job. You know, I started off teaching Dreamweaver and web page, HTML and Office and stuff like that, and we've just moved on so far so fast that you've got to teach kids to learn and unlearn and learn again, rather than a concrete set of data skills or whatever. So
yeah, I can jump in for just 1 second. I was going to say that when I applied for my job, I remember showing how great the PowerPoints were that I made so that I could get my job. I mean, like, technology's changed so much that, as Clint mentioned, the things that I was hired to do, I don't do anymore. And I think that's just something that all of our teachers can recognize in their own curriculum and in the way that they teach. Hopefully it keeps evolving, so we keep trying new things and trying to see different ways to do it.
And the 21st century skills, the communication, collaboration, creativity, and help me out. I always forget the fourth
Critical thinking.
one. Anyway, those skills are way more important than a set of curriculum.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the memo assignment this week is based on, you're going to talk to 4 of your peers at least and talk to them about the integration of technology in their classrooms, and then kind of analyze that data that you gather when you talk to them to think through what that's been like for them. And then what you're going to do is create a memo to your superintendent to encourage him or her to support that engaging instruction and that improved student technology learning and the help that is given to teachers to be able to plan in that integration of technology into their curriculum. So all of that addresses that House Bill 277, which is, a lot of you wrote about the House Bill 277 last week. That's the digital teaching and learning grant that was offered to all the school districts. So that's what you want to do, is to send that off to the superintendent, but submit it to us so that we see that you've completed that assignment for this week. Okay, so it's reading, the discussion questions, and the memo assignment. That's this week. So does anybody who's in have any questions?
Carol, I was going to jump in just for 1 second and say Clint and I are actually with about a third of the superintendents from around the state of Utah right now. So
If you need us to talk to anybody, let us know.
yeah, if you need us to chat with somebody, we can maybe put a bug in their ear this week.
Awesome. Hopefully they know they're going to get a bunch of memos this week. Okay, does anybody else have questions? All right, if there's no questions, then we'll...
Janelle in the chat says no, and our area is getting noisier. So we'll
Okay. Okay, I think we'll call it good then for today. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next Thursday at 4 p.m. for our next one. All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Jared. Jared's there. Thanks, Jared.
Oh.